So welcome to your new moon pick a card reading of April the 12th. So I did this reading a little later, but it still applies for the next 2 weeks or up until the full moon. And now we're just going to take a moment to bring ourselves to awareness and really tap into our internal guidance system, call our intuition, to choose which deck attracts and calls us out the most. Take a couple of deep breaths in. Could be as simple as the color or of the shape that attracts you and grabs your attention today. Could be the positions that they're in. This is group 1, this is group 2, and this is group 3. And let's begin. Okay, group 1, you have chosen the Muse Tarot deck by Chris Ann, which is one of my favorite decks to work with at the moment. But as usual, we will go with your archetype with Maya Daouz White Witch Tarot. I'm going to just see what is your archetype today for the next 2 weeks. Okay, we got 2. Let's keep it with this 2. You have strength, and you have death. Oh la la. Okay, so the way I work, guys, I usually have a Reiki energy embedded in every group. However, I've been feeling a little under the weather, so didn't really feel too hot to send that out right now. But the way I operate also, besides that point, is I always pick an archetype, so the overall energies for the next 2 weeks, and you have 2. So I feel like some of you are feeling a little run down. I feel a big sense of resistance as well. There's resistance of change. I feel like this is your own transformation. You know that there's a better version of yourself, and you kind of lost hope that this could actually be achieved or that it could actually come into play. I feel like you're holding on to a lot of resentment and holding on to a lot of heartache. And this is keeping you back from the shedding of your skins to the rebirth of just your true nature and your true capabilities and probably even your true strength. Like, I feel like you've been overwhelmed and overflooded with so much things going on right now, that to find this inner strength and to find this inner light guiding system that has helped you, and to keep that true north, to stay the course, is just a little harder. But the reason why it's so hard is because in the next 2 weeks, basically, there's going to be a lot of letting go. So probably letting go of people, probably letting go of old fashioned ideas, letting go of, you know, how you wish you would have the world to turn out, or how you thought your world was going to turn out to be. I have a sense of like what goes around comes around. So if some of you are feeling injustice, know that it will be taken care of. I feel like for some of you also, there's just people weighing you down. There's a couple of people that are not understanding where you're from or where you're going. I feel like this is maybe your spiritual path. They're not understanding this way. and it just feels like a weight. It feels like they're grabbing your hand and just bringing you down to their level. And I mean, in the next 2 weeks, it's really going to be a big test of resilience, but also a big test of owning your truth. And I also want to just say, like, to just take it easy. You just allow the things to unfold, allow the things to break, allow the things to crack you open so you can really become and see and feel your true essence and evolve as you're as you're supposed to. It's like a video that I came across the other day. It's a woman, she's talking about what's going on in this world. Like, it needs to happen, this breaking apart, this chaotic feel. It certain people, like, we need to feel things, we need to feel the crumbling so we can start picking up the pieces and re-emerging all together, right? I mean, it's very heavy energy for the next 2 weeks, extremely heavy. So really find, or even just give yourself, the days, a couple of days you need to rest and rejuve. Watch movies, watch TVs, watch those brain dead movies that just allows you to get into that zone of nothingness and just, instant gratification, at least for this short period of time until you can gain the energy. Watch feel good movies. Honestly, if you're gonna do anything, watch feel good movies where it uplifts you. And try to watch feel good movies that are based on the areas that you are feeling the lack right now. So if it's in romance or love, go watch some romantic love comedies. If it's about finding the magic, go watch movies that ignite that magic within. Like Harry Potter is a good one. You have Pan's Labyrinth, that one's a little more darker, but the magic is still there. This childlike curiosity. You guys know where I'm getting at with this, right? So for the next 2 weeks, your overall energies will really be the depth and finding that inner strength, but to also give in and let go and allow things to crumble, and not to put so much weight on your shoulders to try to hold up the fort either. Like, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to let things fall apart so they can fall back into place. Oops. Yeah. Try to get these 2 cards in. Okay, so I did this one a little differently. So I'm just gonna pick the cards straight from the deck. So we want to know, what is it would be helpful to know for the next 2 weeks? My group ones. Oh, disaster. What'll be helpful to know? Okay. Put 2 cards there. Helpful card. So there's a big sense of inspiration that you're gonna get this next 2 weeks. A big sense of inspiration. You feel very motivated, very in tuned, and ready to take actions towards the things that you've been wanting to create. And you have been taking these things that you have been wanting to create, and you have been sensing a big relief and a sense of accomplishment because they're actually moving forward and making things happen. So you're making things happen and you're basically seeing the results of it. where it's a little stagnant right now, where it bugs a bit, it's over here. You've kind of reached a plateau, or you kind of feel like you're not moving fast enough. The Chariot's all about moving quick, swift. But honestly, that life is not about the end goal, it's about the journey, right? So, right now, what we need to know is that slow and steady wins the race. Let's see where this is all going. And I got sensing also this movement forward, this kind of stagnant moving forward, this halt almost feel that you're going to have in the next 2 weeks is due to this overwhelming pressure and weight that you're putting upon yourself, but also the reluctancy of letting go and shedding the old skin. You're still kind of thinking in a way, you still have those old thought processes and patterns that are keeping you stuck. And this is really what's not allowing you to move quick enough or forward enough. For anybody, I'm sensing here a blog also, for anybody wanting to or has been, if this is in parts of writing a blog, I feel like you're going to be moving quicker by really being honest with yourself and talking about these hard, dark paths of the soul, these harder things to talk about. I feel like a lot of people will connect through your experiences. I feel like you're reluctant into conversating, and this is not limited to blogs. It's just I felt a sensation and this feeling of blog over here. I don't know why, but it could be in terms of any other project. So really put in, how can I say it? The more vulnerable you get, especially with your audience, the more they'll be able to connect with you in a soul level. And I feel like this is going to help you find new material and propel, and you'll see the patterns that are coming out of them and what people really need. Honestly, like, what is your secret why right now? What is the secret why you're doing everything? What do you want people to achieve once they, how do you want people to feel once they've read, let's say it is a blog post, your blog post, you want them to be able to take course to action after they read it? Or do you just want them to have a place where they could just feel normal and feel like they could be as vulnerable as you've been vulnerable? All I know is that something needs to shift for you to move forward, and part of this is letting go of just the old version of you, of doubts and insecurities and these self-limiting beliefs and talks that you might have been having. Where is this all going? So let's go to the future a little over here. You have both the Page of Materials in reverse and the Seven of Materials in reverse. I'm feeling over here is that there's this lack of income, one that you were probably aspiring to, especially over here with the Ten of Materials. It was like there's going to be, again, a standstill of what you've been desiring. But I feel like it's gonna be very short-lived. I feel like there's going to be a breaking open, a breaking free in the next 2 weeks, especially if you do the work, if you really go within and do the work of finding out what these limiting beliefs are and finding a way to be vulnerable with your audience in ways that in the way that shows your strength, because showing vulnerability is actually an incredible strength to have. You need strength to show your vulnerability. And it doesn't matter how many people has shut you down. If you can still remain vulnerable and still open up your heart, that is pure strength. And I feel like some of you have been vulnerable on occasions and have been shut down and you've closed yourself off. I'm telling you right now, you got to stop that shiznit. That is what is stopping you from moving forward. You need to, and obviously you need to do it with the right people, but I feel like you will be attracting the right type of people. I feel like once you start opening yourself up and really getting out of your shell, I feel like there's so many opportunities and doors that's going to open for you. For those of you that are in legal matters, like justice represents legal situations, whether it's contracts or whatnot, I feel like something's going to be revealed to you, especially in terms of money. Like if you had any doubts or fear, I feel like something will be revealed to you that will be in a very positive way. I feel like it might be even a helping hand. If you were afraid, if some of you have been planning a move and have been afraid that you will find something in maybe a short giving time, now it's going to be June, so soon. That's going to have to be done for. You have to make a decision. I feel like something's going to open up as well. Let's give you just one word of advice. Here we go. From the Sacred Creators deck, also by Chris Ann. Make a mission statement for your soul. Yes, so it basically goes back to what's your sacred why. What is the reasons you started, let's say it's a blog or this project? What is the reasons you got into this relationship? What is the reasons why you decided to, let's say, leave this house? Or like the sacred why is, for all of these answers, is within the heart center, within the soul. It's if I learned anything from my recent class, is that your sacred why, this mission statement of the soul, is something that's going to move you and it's going to propel you and it's going to give you strength no matter what situation, because it's like your purpose in life. And it doesn't have to be anything major. It could be as simple as, I want to grow perfect tulips. I want to feed my neighborhood. I want to love my family. These are just as important as any other epic mission that you can think of. But it is something that's going to move you to the point of probably even like to tears. In the class I was taking, that's what they were referring to. If it moves you to tears, you know you found that sacred why. You know you found that reason. As soon as you find this why, I feel like all this will all make sense. You'll know what to give up, what limiting beliefs to let go of, to become, because that's another thing. Once you have found your sacred why, the only other question is, what do I need to do to live up to that statement? Or what do I need to change? Or what do I need to improve to be at that frequency, be at that level? Because that's the key, that's the magic. Finding the why is easy in some ways, but then taking accountability to bringing yourself to that why is a whole other ballgame. And that's what I got for you, group number 1. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like, share, or subscribe if this has resonated, or if you think somebody could benefit from these readings, by all means. That's it. Have a great next 2 weeks. Hey group 2, so I did these ones slightly different. There is no Reiki energy embedded in these ones this time around. I've been feeling just a little under the weather, so it didn't feel right to send that over. So we will start right away with just your archetype. For those who don't know, I pick just a general, basically what to expect for the next 2 weeks, the overall energies, and I pick it with Maya Dao's White Witch Tarot because it's the major arcanas, and I just love these cards so much. So here we go, the Tower. Oh la la, that one just like flew over. So wow, okay, so it's gonna be, damn, so far my 2 groups have been heavy energies. So the Tower is all about shaking the foundations. Shaking the foundations for the purpose of taking out what is rotten, what no longer works, what no longer serves you. So for the next 2 weeks, I feel like there's going to be a lot of like aha moments that or you already knew about or that you were not expecting. Usually it's you were not expecting unless you've been working on yourself and you're starting to see the broken pieces along your paths and along your own foundations and around the foundations of these belief systems that you've created for yourself, right? Especially now, I feel like there's a lot going on. If you're watching this, oh, by the way, these are timeless, but if you are watching this right now, there is a global pandemic, and I feel like a lot of people's just foundations are being cored, right? Financially, socially, mentally as well, especially with this whole push towards vaccines. There's just a lot going on. So this could be just how this global events are affecting you personally, or it could, and most likely, be personally in your life. Maybe there's a lot of people that you're gonna have to disconnect with, or that are just not in alignment with with your thoughts and your ideas. It could be just work. Maybe you will be one of the unlucky few that, you know, loses their job. There's something major, something that wasn't working anyways, but it wasn't in your plan. That's gonna happen in the next 2 weeks. Let's see what else it has to say. So I am using this beautiful deck. I actually don't remember what's the name, but I will find out eventually. But first things first, let's do this card reading. So what do we need to know for the next 2 weeks? What do I need to know? Okay. And where is it? Okay. Ooh. Oh la la. Okay. So the World, Ace of Cups, Pages. Okay, well, where is it all going? Seems like it's a pretty good outcome. Okay, so as we were mentioning, basically the overall energies of the next 2 weeks is this completely shattering of foundations. And I feel like what we need to know for the next 2 weeks with this shattering of foundations is that a lot of things that you thought would come to completion won't actually come to completion. There's going to be a big sense of unknowingness that's going to occur. An unknowingness of your love relationship, an unknowingness of your money situation, if you've been dabbling or if you've been playing around or getting curious in terms of a new project or in terms of a new money income situation. Well, everything just feels unsure at this very moment, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It could be actually a very good thing. It could be a good thing a blessing in disguise, because this just means that you are at least testing the waters, and you're building new skills, and you're just listening to your intuition by jumping and taking certain risks. Because once you're in once you're in this fields of trying and curiosity, there's going to be trial and error, but the more you do that, the more you're strengthening your intuitive side, right? The more you are acknowledging it, and the more it will feel safe enough to actually communicate with you, because now it's like, oh, she's finally, or he's finally listening to me. Yeah, I'm feeling a good vibe over here. I know it looks scary, but I'm feeling a really good vibe. I'm feeling like something is not supposed to come to completion, because if it comes to completion right now, it's not going to be what you truly want and truly desire. I feel like you're still in the demystifying of what that is, and you're still into the process of figuring out what is it you truly, really want. And I feel like if you're just going with the flow and you're just enjoying this sense of unknowingness, I feel like you're going to be able to take face. You're gonna be able to just face all these little demons inside you, and everything around you, everything that's been just tempting you into going back to the old self, going back to the old you, going back towards this worriness, this lack of faith, almost, I want to say, in your own capabilities, or to the universe's capabilities, or just trusting and believing the universe. But if you do embrace this no man's land, this unknown, I feel like it's gonna help you just see clearer and see the things, seeing everything that's crumbling, because there's something new coming about, something better, something sturdier, something more peaceful, I even want to say, and more playful. There's something better coming out of this. And where is it all going is you facing these little self-demons, especially the ones that have been keeping you up at night, and the ones that have been kind of just tying you down. And as soon as you break free from that, as soon as you're able, I feel like it's also like a moment for you to step in silence and be alone and really introspect and meditate and really break free internally from these beliefs and these thoughts specifically. And from there, you're going to be, like I said, there's a beautiful outcome over here. It's going to be an empowerment. You're going to be the queen of your emotions. The Queen of Cups is really the ultimate queen of all the queens, right? She has embraced and honored, and she has come, to me, it's also like this beautiful, she's embraced both masculine and feminine energies. And I don't know why I'm getting this vibe, but that's what I'm getting this vibe, especially right now, is this empowerment, self-empowerment through acknowledging your emotions and almost putting yourself first, I want to say here too. Let's take one word of advice. Overthinking can spoil the magic. Yes, okay. So, yes. This is, I mean, beautiful with everything that we have just talked about. Just be okay with this in-between world that you are going to be, especially with everything crumbling down, or just things not coming or working out the way you have planned, and everything is just out of tune right now. Just find peace within that, but more importantly, find the curiosity in the young kind of fated spirit in the discovering of, wow, okay, if I'm here, that means there's a next level out there for me. Just, it's like what they say, right? Your job is to tell the universe what you want. It's not to dictate it or tell it how you want it. That's the universe's job, because whatever you can imagine, the universe has probably something even better out there for you. So it's really the next 2 weeks, it's about being comfortable with the uncomfortness, facing the little demons inside, and also giving yourself that opportunity, the time to introspect, face the rotten pieces so you can come out of it and embrace yourself fully, emotionally. Just the allowance of all this to just happen organically by not trying to figure things out. It really does spoil the magic, right? And that is it for this new moon's pick a card reading of April 12th, 2021, but not limited to that. If this has resonated in any way, do share your comments, do let me know. Like, share, subscribe. It helps the channel so much, and I love doing these for you. And I'll see you during the full moon reading. Ciao. Okay, hello. Let's get this straight. Hello, group 3. Welcome back. This is my 4th time recording, so don't wonder why it's gonna go as effortlessly and as flowy. It's because I already did this almost 3 times, but that's okay. That won't let us stop us. So I'm running a little late on my new moon pick a card readings because I've been feeling a little under the weather, and this time around there's no Reiki energy, again because I didn't feel in alignment with sending out that kind of energy with feeling the way I have been feeling. So we'll start right away. So like as usual, we're gonna start with your archetype. So your archetype this for the next 2 weeks is the Emperor. So the Emperor for me, in this particular reading, is all about a project or a job that's just not fitting right, or settling in right, or feeling right. It could be also a person in your life, male archetype, so it doesn't have to be male, but it does exude very masculine characteristics, and it's just in the sense that maybe it's not in alignment, or maybe also like, yeah, it's true, also pregnancy. Maybe there was like you've been looking forward into getting pregnant and it just hasn't been happening, and all this is just to say the time is not right now. There's elements missing, or there's something greater waiting for you, and it's just a question of also aligning yourself vibrationally to what you're desiring. And this also could mean that you're not clear on what you actually do want. You're not clear on what you desire, and are you willing to make the steps and the efforts to actually attain what you're actually desiring? If you want someone that exhibits characteristics A, B, C, and D, but you're not following through and you do not actually provide any of those characteristics, I mean, you're only going to get what you give, and you're only going to give what you get. I mean, this is just a vicious cycle, so you're going to get what you give. And that's not to say that there hasn't been imbalances. For sure, there's always situations where people need deep lessons that need to be learned. Unfortunately, they're learned in these kinds of unbalanced situations. But at the end of the day, our energy speaks more than our actions, right? So if if you're looking for someone that's kind and loving and respects women, but then you're going out of your way to show how disrespectful men are and disrespecting them, I mean, that vibration is not in sync, right? So that was just an example. So what we need to know for the next few weeks. You actually got an extra card here. We'll talk about that later. So what I'm getting here is recognition and reward. So as I was saying, there's something that's not in alignment. There's something that's not fitting in right. There's something that you need to move on from. You are, or this job is, you're not in alignment with their approach or what they stand for. And this moving forward, moving on, maybe quitting or getting maybe even fired. I don't really see that here. I see it more like a decision being made will entice you and force you into making different life choices in terms of monetary movement forward, and a very material basis. So maybe in a different living space, but it will have to, it is a moment of truth. Regardless if you're doing very well or you're very good in your job, there's something that isn't in alignment anymore, and it's time to move forward. And it is time in that the consequences of that will be to make different choices, at least temporarily, until everything's settled in. And what else we need to know? Where is this all going? I mean, emotional withdrawal. So with every big life decision, whether it's moving on from a relationship or from a job, or who knows, I'm even sensing here that maybe it was an ex that came coming back, or it could be even just a thought of an ex. It's just a question of moving forward, right? So every life changing situation, it's all about emotional withdrawal. After that, you need to, we're like the waves, right? So when we emotionally or just spiritually, our waves hits the shore, but then it recedes, it goes back into the ocean, and that's going to be this contemplation moment for you. That's where this is all going. So once the decision is made, and it's going to be really a time to really focus on what is it you really want. And as I mentioned, what are the steps to take to achieve your wanting? How are you going to level up, in other words? And you will find that leveling up, that spiritual strength and growth I'm seeing here. But there's going to be a lot of rest and rejuvenation for sure, because with ever leveling up, it takes a lot of strength. It's like, you know, when you're creating a baby when a woman is creating a baby in its womb, it takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of strength. And if that woman isn't resting as much as her body is telling her to rest, well, it won't have the best results in helping to nourish and grow this child, right? And the same thing with this idea, same thing with this leveling up. It's super important to rest and relax once you're transitioning, especially when you're doing the hard work into figuring out, you know, what you really want. We don't really take the time to do that. So you guys chose a John Holland Psychic Tarot deck, by the way. I did this one slightly different. You didn't quite get to see that. I was shuffling on camera, and they don't really honor the reverses, so I just put everything upright. That's why everything is up right here, except for this one. We will go with one recommendation, one guidance, which is manifesting and doing. Look at that. I think it coincides also with what I was talking about it's one thing to state what you want. It's another thing to up level and bring yourself to that vibrational frequency that is in alignment with what you want. Don't expect, if you're not in alignment with what you want, you might not be ready to receive it, and you might lose it very quickly, right? That's with anything, even if it's a new job. If you're not mentally, physically, emotionally ready to receive anything, it might be like a hit or miss. You might actually lose that opportunity if you have not achieved that just vibrational alignment, I mean. And the heart chakra over here, you guys have an extra one because these are about, I always like to pick an extra one when I get these cards. And the heart chakra is really about listening to your heart, right? So whether it's moving forward, if you're wondering if you should be moving forward and you're not sure, your heart is where the answer is. That's, the heart is the first organ. I'm pretty sure it's like the first element that actually gets created into the womb. And a lot of people say that, a lot of scientists say that the heart, excuse me, is where we feel first, and that information is set to the brain afterwards, but it's always the heart that feels first. And there's actual neurites and little brain in the heart that could actually justify that. So whatever you're looking for, it's within your heart center. Take that moment of withdrawal, of leveling up, and really doing the nitty-gritty, doing the work. If you really truly want to manifest these things, it's not about wishful thinking, but being clear with what you want, which is figuring out what you actually do want, and taking the inspired action. It's very important, the inspired action to get there. The inspired action is usually like the first gut instincts, and you have 5 seconds before your brain can actually talk you out of it. But before that, you have 5 seconds to actually act upon it. It doesn't matter where it takes you, where it goes. Obviously, be mindful if you're planning on to go and roam around dangerous grounds. But generally speaking, your heart, it's not going to take you anywhere you don't belong, right? So that is your full moon, your new moon. Pick a card reading of April 16th. No, sorry. Today is April 16th, I believe. I'm recording this on April 16th. On April 12th. Not limited to that. These are timeless. Energy has no boundaries. So if you're watching this right now, it's probably because there's a message in it for you. And I will see you in the next 2 weeks. Actually, probably shorter. But these are not... these are bi-weekly readings, so it will extend at the moment I post it for the next 2 weeks, but you will have the advantage of taking in my full moon reading as well. That's it for today, guys. Ciao. Have a good one.